Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the beginning of RSC final season. Tonight, we are beginning with the amateur and premier finals. I am Taco. Producing this stream is Russ, and joining me on the desk is MD. How are we doing tonight, MD?
Doing pretty good. Excited to see the start of playoffs once again. Well, the finals of playoffs, but you know what I mean. Excited to see Amy once again come in and kick us off with final streams and if last season is anything to go off of, and I guess the past 5 out of the 6 seasons are anything to go off of, we could be in for a long one once again.
Yeah, definitely. This is sure to be a good series, especially amateur finals have always delivered in the past. Um, so without further ado, let's focus in on our amateur playoff bracket really quickly. We can see how these teams both made it here. Of course, it is Chimera and Garlic Knots in the finals. Both the lower seeds actually in the amateur tier making it to the finals. Of course, only 4 teams because it's an 8 team tier, and both upsetting the supposed seeding favorites. So, yeah, we'll see some potential underdog stories who didn't do as well in the regular season. Of course, they had to do well enough to make the playoffs, but when it comes down to the playoffs, this is where you make your money, so to speak.
Everything at this point is make or break. You have to be completely on top of it. It's different compared to the regular season because we do, I believe it's best of fives all the way up until finals, and then it's best of seven. So strong departure from what we played during the season. But either way, it's always a riot. It's always a good time. And like you said, both teams coming in as underdogs here, maybe not necessarily doing great throughout the season, but they showed up for playoffs and they are the ones that are here. Looking ahead at the team stats, Chimera are coming in 28 and 24. Garlic Knots are coming in 27 and 29. So there's about a 2 game split there, one or 2 game split there, unless something just isn't updated on Chimera's side, in which case that's a little scuffed at the moment.
Yeah, Garlic Knots, I do believe, did make the playoffs while having a negative record, which is rare, but it does happen, of course, when you got strong number 1 teams who win a lot versus all the rest. And Chimera, who had a strong season, but if you look at the goals for versus the goals versus, you can tell Garlic Knots a lot more offensive team. Just look at the sheer shot numbers they're putting up and the goals for versus Chimera, who don't have that quite offensive output, but are very defensively solid. A lot of saves and 21 less goals conceded. So look for Garlic Knots to be the team that are trying to make the game chaotic, trying to push the pressure, and Chimera to keep the game locked down and keep it low scoring.
We're gonna go ahead and move into the player stats, just kind of looking in as to how the season went for the teams. First up, we have Chimera of Mythspire. Leading the charge, we have RL Camaro, General Lee, and Silently. The three of them have played every single game this season. And when I say leading the charge, I mean Camaro and Lee both coming in with nearly 120 shots on net. Lee putting up 121, and Camaro putting up 117 shots on net. So very, very strong offensively between those two.
Yeah, and especially you see Camaro and generally having near 40% shooting percentage, really good shooting percentage. They're clinical in front of the net when they get the chances, and definitely will be looking to lead them ahead. And if we switch over to the Garlic Knots player stats, we are going to see a Steph, Medic, and Rich playing a lot of the games. Zag also playing a decent amount of games. Um, Again, Steph, Medic, and Rich all putting up pretty well-rounded numbers. And definitely Steph, of course, I mean, the thing that jumps off is his 65 saves. He's definitely going to be the one looking to stay back and be the one who's committing third man. Not to say that he can't play offense. He's might be their best offensive player as well, but he's looking to sit back and control the game from the third man position.
The other thing I notice as well is that Steph is coming in with 61 demos on the season. So it looks like Garlic Knots as a team are very demo heavy. I mean, 61, 59, and 54 apiece between the three starters, I guess you would say. And even Zag there coming in and picking up 9 demos on the season. So their demo numbers are looking a lot higher compared to Chimera, who it doesn't seem like Chimera spend a whole lot of time bumping or demoing, but obviously now that we are in playoffs, teams' play styles could completely change on a dime just as a reaction to what they're up against.
Well, I don't think we want this to drag too long. We're gonna have a long night, so I think we are just about ready to go. Let me tell the players. And we are going to start off the amateur finals, Garlic Knots versus Chimera.
Don't forget to get your predictions in chat. Make sure you get your points in. Everybody loves gambling in here. I'm sure we got a few people already still playing matches at the moment. As we finally get this game underway, fresh kickoff, AMI finals, first RSC finals of the night. Let's go ahead and get this started.
Well, to start off the game, Garlic Knots win the opening kickoff. The ball floating in front of the net, and it's an early lead. 9 seconds in for Garlic Knots off of Rich Rollin, who I believe has won. Yeah, he won a championship with Safari against this very Garlic Knots team. Steph on the other side. He's starting off the scoring, looking to become a 2-time AMI champion.
That is a very interesting shot to fall into the net right off the bat, but as we always say, AMI continues to surprise us season after season. Rich Rollin putting a shot towards the net there, but Steph comes in and dunks it down, and there's a 2-goal lead already.
Yeah, Steph coming in from above. General a little awkward, so silently trying to dive at it, but Steph had an open runway to take it. 2-0 for Garlic Knots. This is a really good sign. Again, Garlic Knots have the better offensive numbers. They don't have the record quite, but if they're putting up this many goals, it's going to be a real dangerous threat for the other side. Rich is going to play it off the wall. Medic is a free aerial touch to the corner. This could be an awkward read. Silently overruns the ball, and a demo's coming out over the head. Can this be put on target? It's off the mark. Medic is unable to put it home, but still the pressure is coming in from Garlic Knots.
Camaro finally gets it clear, but is unable to continue with the ball. Rich is going to pop this to the middle. Lee unable to make contact. Silently touch to the shot of the net. A shot on the net. Steph manages to stretch for the save. Camaro trying to keep the pressure on, but Chimera are struggling right now. They've definitely spent a lot more of their time on defense as finally they break through. Silently connects with General Lee, and they will get one in the back of the net.
Yeah, General, a great pass. Silent and Chimera both up. Either of them probably could have scored it with that great pass from General, but 2-1 for Chimera. Again, this is not going to be a easy series for either of these teams. A back and forth series as you come to expect from previous amateur finals. Rich is going to play it off the sidewall. We have a Rule 1 that is being respected in the finals. Silently is going to try and cut it on target. Pass it into General, and the Rule 1 leads to a goal for Chimera.
I love to see people respecting a Rule 1 on stream. That is fantastic. Great pass from Silently to drop it right down to Lee. Nobody else is back, and this game is tied up. We're just over a minute and a half into this matchup now. Medic gets a great kickoff there. It's going to go right back into Chimera's half, but unfortunately unable to put a shot on target. There's a whiff coming out from a couple of players here. Rich does manage to get the 50. Steph is going to try to drop this on target. Silently manages to get back for the save in time, but Rich is right there for another shot opportunity. Puts it right in between the posts there. Great shot.
Yeah, Rich clinical, rising up over General Lee for the shot to the far post, and he's been here before. He knows what to do. 2 goals and an assist, 3 goal contributions. He is showing up, and the rest of Garlic Knots, well, maybe not Medic so far, but the rest of the team definitely putting in the work. Rich again, a clear shooting opportunity. Medic has a shot. that is just off the crossbar, and Garlic Knot's pressure continues to roll.
Silently was trying to get the ball all the way downfield. Medic does get the demo. Lee comes together into the middle here, trying to maintain some type of pressure. Camaro's going to drop this back into his teammate, but only goes as far as Russ is going to take a pot shot. Camaro manages to get back in time. We'll send this to the sidewall. Looking for a second touch, but unable to do so, as Steph will maintain pressure from Garlic Knots here.
Rich is going to pass it. Steph is going to not make contact. General has an awkward touch. Rich just closes it down. Camaro has to be really careful. Rich doesn't have boost, but he's got a lot of pressure on the ball. Steph clears out. Medic with the shot. It turns into a pass.
Oh my.
2 demos come in, and somehow it's still Garlic Knots that can't score that ball.
I'm surprised they were unable to score that there with the double demo. Chimera definitely just got away by the skin of their teeth there. They spent a lot of time stuck in their own half, haven't really had too much extended pressure. Medic once again putting a shot towards the side of the net here, but Lee is able to stretch and put it off to the sidewall. Nobody makes contact, and now everybody just runs away from the ball. Silently now has to be called into action. Puts it downfield, gets a touch past 1. Runs out of boost, leaves it for Camaro. Camaro looking for a touch to the middle here. Manages to get a bouncer right out to Lee, and Lee will tie us up once again.
And this is all about that backside demo. Silently doesn't even wait for the pass to come in. He knows, he trusts his teammate, and even before Camaro gets the touch around one of the defenders, he takes out the man on the back post, and it was a free open net. It's all tied up. Medic's gonna turn it to Steph, who's got a lot of boost and a lot of space on the ball. If he can get it in mid, it could be dangerous. Rich is there, and they tied it up, but they can't keep it tied up for long. Rich, 3 goals and an assist. He is on a heater to start off the finals.
Rich is out here putting on a clinic. Absolutely clinical from him. Has, I believe, Rich has 100% goal participation for his team at the moment. So just
Steph's going to take it to the sidewall. He's going to put it back in to the other side. Rich plays it in. Medic is there, and Steph is definitely being careful. He's going back when he needs to, and now he's going to come in for his opportunity. Steph rising up silently, makes the save. Rich is there. He is not able to make proper contact. Medic plays it to the side, and again, Garlic Knots all the pressure. They have the lead. Can they hold on? It can turn on a dime in these low-level, low-tier games, I should say. But right now, you'd have to say Garlic Knots are the favored ones in this game. But look at the passing coming in. This one comes dangerously across net, but luckily for Garlic Knots, no one is on the other side of it. Rich gets a 50. Medic's too far back. Silently plays it over the top. And it's all tied up with 7 seconds left.
Game number 1, and we already have an absolute barn burner. 8 goals scored between the teams. This is just great stuff. Silently manages to pop it over the top. 7 seconds to go. They managed to tie it up, but will they be able to maintain and at least get themselves into overtime?
Medic not trying to go to overtime. Rich is up in the air. He pops it on. General's going to ground it. And we do have overtime in game 1. Ooh, this is a great start. Who's going to be able to come out on the end of it?
It's already going to be a long night, isn't it? We have game 1 overtime right off the bat to start finals. What a good way to start this off. Camaro trying to make a touch, unable to do so. Medic was there. Gets a touch, maybe looking for a pass in the middle here. Tries to get it across. Nobody is there for the read. Rich finally comes in, but is unable to get it through the defense, as Silently will pick this up. Trying to get it through Steph here. General Lee is up. It's going to be off the backboard. Is anybody going to make a touch? No, Camaro's too far back. Finally comes in after faking out a defender. But still, there's just nothing really threatening towards the Garlic Knots net at the moment. as everybody's just all the way back. This is sent way downfield. Silently's able to pick it up, but unable to get a good enough clear, and Rich will take a quick pot shot. Camaro able to clear this away. Silently and Camaro coming together. Camaro put it off the sidewall, pass to the middle to Silently into the upper left corner, and Chimera will take game number 1.
Oh, Camaro, a great pass, Silently buries it upper corner, and Garlic Knots maybe were thinking they had that game in the bag, but you cannot get caught sleeping at this level. You get caught sleeping and these games just turn around, and what looked like a game they were controlling for the longest time. Rich with 4 goal contributions. Unfortunately, it goes to overtime, and the team with momentum that tied it up just before the end is the team that is able to take the win.
What a great start to finals tonight. I mean, how about that? 9 goals in the first game is insane, and the shot totals coming out from everybody, just everybody getting involved, whether it was an assist or at least just getting a shot on target. I can't imagine how the rest of this is gonna go. Get your predictions in for game number 2. Taco, just looking at how this game went, what are your thoughts here? Like, do you think Garlic Knots maybe were a little overconfident going into game 1 and Chimera just kind of smacked them in the mouth, or do you think both teams came in with just looking at the opponent directly in front of them?
I think both teams played well. I think Chimera did a really good job adjusting. I don't think it was overconfidence. Chimera was able to adapt to the relentless pressure and were able to sneak their way and scrap their way to tying it up, and they were ready for the pressure and they were able to adapt. But no, I don't think Garlic Knots were too overconfident. I think they are definitely going to be still a huge threat as Medic with a decal switch. Maybe that was what was needed. As Rich is going to play it in the midfield. Medic's trying to keep it in. Rich pops it in mid. No one's following it up, though. Medic clears it long to the sidewall. Camara's going to have it. And it's just bouncing along the corners, bouncing along the sidewalls until that one's bouncing in the mid. Silently scuffs the pass or shot. And Medic is able to finally clear it away.
Good stuff from Garlic Knots starting out here. We don't have a goal within the first 9 seconds. Camaro's going to try to rush back. Can they get it turned? Rich Rowland able to stretch and get to the ball. This ball finally gets sent back out into the midfield. Lee trying to pass this down to anybody. Camaro was all the way back. Puts another shot on target, but Steph's going to be able to clear this away silently. Already on the sidewall. Misses the read. Lee is all the way back, but has no boost. Steph gets a touch. It's a shot on target, but it's very easily dealt with by Lee. Lee's going to pick up the mid boost here. Silently comes in, misses the touch off of Medic. Medic trying to get a pass to the middle, but unable to do much with the little boost that they had. Lee with a touch. It only goes as far as Rich, but Rich does not get that touch that they wanted. Medic is standing tall right now, managing to get all the touches that his team needs. And right now, with a minute and a half gone, we have no score yet. Teams seem to be feeling each other out this game compared to how game 1 was.
I think teams have realized, hey, we need to be a little bit more defensive, because I don't think both teams will be happy with their defensive performance in that first game. As Camaro gets an easy pass from Silently and buries it at the front post. Garlic Knot's a little awkward. Rich facing backwards. Steph not able to get there. And Chimera with an early lead, an earlier lead than they had all of game 1.
Yeah, looks like both Rich and Steph came together a little bit there. There's a little bit of a team bump that prevented the save. Chimera take full advantage of that. Steph trying to get a shot, but it's off the crossbar. Camaro is going to take control of this ball, wins the 50. Silent is underneath the ball, but unable to make a touch. Lee lets this roll up. Rich pass to the middle, but Steph decides against it. Silent has no boost, just kind of pops it into the midfield here, but once again, has no teammate there to take advantage of the touch. As the ball gets set right back into Camara's half, Camaro able to stretch forward, keep the ball away. Rich with a shot on target. Silent manages to rotate back around, low on boost. trying to maintain possession of this ball, but it falls away into Medic's hands. Medic is already up, looking for a touch off the backboard. An incredible shot opportunity coming out, but right now, Garlic Knots are unable to find the net.
Yeah, Garlic Knots are certainly trying. They're getting closer. But again, this defense from Chimera, who is what brought them to the finals, and it's certainly keeping them in the lead of this final. Steph is able to stop that shot to the far post, and he's going to follow his own clear. Camaro's going to get an awkward touch. It's a really good touch. That one's bumped up in the air. Is Rich able to redirect it on target? Steph can't get there. General is able to make the save.
Good stuff already coming out. We're nearing a minute and a half remaining in the game. Garlic Knots are still searching to break this defensive wall right now. Unable to find anything. Medic has been the guy to try to keep this team in it. Oh no, that's gonna be, oh, that was so close. Camaro almost got away with an own goal here, but unfortunately, Garlic Knots managed to just stay in it and maintain this 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, look out here. Rich is trying to find his teammate. Steph is not able to dunk silently. And Silent's going to have a lot of space. Look for the pass. Try and beat the last man. Medic does not fall for it. He challenges it and wins the ball. Rich is going to play it off the wall. Steph is able to 50 it out. And can he get the clear? They're all committing. They're all diving. They're all frightened. But they're able to keep it as a 1-goal game. Unfortunately, no one's there. This could be a better pass. Medic at the back post can't redirect it on.
Steph with another shot is going to go off the crossbar. Doesn't crossbar down, unfortunately. Garlic Knots are trying so hard to find the back of the net, but they found mostly the woodwork so far.
Yeah, and they've had a couple of those crossbar hits this game. They've gotten so close. They got to keep it up. Medic looking for the pass, but where is the help? Steph is ready. He's keeping it in. Rich is looking to bump the last man. General gets out of the way. Clears it. Medic's pass. As Silent's awkward, Rich has no boost. He's looking to pass it, but where's the help? Garlic Knots. They got close, but it's not close enough as this one hits the ground, and Chimera take a 1-0 win for the 2-0 lead.
Okay, so this is very interesting. So a good defense will always trump a good offense, but Garlic Knots were starting to surge there right at the very end. They were getting shots on target. Just the defense was a little bit stronger from Chimera. I do think we see a gameplay shift from Garlic Knots going into game 3 because they have the shots. They're putting them on target. They just need to figure out a way to break that defensive wall right now, because Silent and Lee are doing everything in the background there.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, a few of those shots were clean looks that they hit the crossbar just barely. So maybe a little bit of unfortunate results there, and they Chimera playing with the fourth man of the crossbar, who's always either your best friend or your worst nightmare. And for Chimera is their best friend, and for Garlic Knots, they're just hearing that ring of the crossbar hit over and over in their heads, and they just got to reset, I think. And they have very dangerous looks. They just got to be able to bury them.
Don't forget to get your predictions in for game number 3. Right now, it's looking like this series is going to be all Chimeras, but Garlic Knots are still a very strong team. They will attempt to make a comeback here and try to bring this series level. Camaro unable to win the 50 here. It's going to fall to Rich. Rich with a shot on target. Strong but silent. Is able to get back for the ball. Medic, who has been very quiet on the offensive end, still searching for a goal here. Steph trying to get a shot on target. Goes off the post. Steph is going to pass this back to Medic. Medic has a touch to the sidewall. Unable to beat Camaro. Nobody's on the ball right now. Medic finally turns to try to get something going. Camaro wins the 50. It only goes as far as Steph. Steph puts this to the side, but it's not very threatening right now, and the ball just kind of falls to Silent, who's low on boost, and just kind of throws it downfield.
Yeah, two of the Garlic Knots players just went for the same mid boost. Rich is trying to fake the last defender, unable to do so. That ball is going to come out mid. Again, the double commits from Garlic Knots are killing them, but it still almost goes in. Medic, a dangerous challenge. Camaro's going to get a shot, but luckily Medic clears long. Silent to Camaro. Camaro plays it off and somehow bounces directly in the air. Steph clears
what a
long,
shot.
and that's just straight in.
Finally, after being held scoreless for an entire game of Rocket League, Steph brings his team back into it, finally scores a goal. We almost had a whole minute and a half gone before we saw anything. This is looking starkly similar to game number 2 so far, but Chimera are not going to take this lying down.
A potential doomsday attempt there, and don't see many of those in Ami. No one's covering the net, and Medic realizes that and says, oh, I'll just come over here. Luckily, no one on Chimera realized that quick enough. Steph clears it long, and Camaro, is playing it backwards. Look out. Good touch. Medic is beat. Steph is essentially the last man back here, but Medic's trying to force himself back into the play. Medic gets a help from a demo. Pops it to his teammate. Steph, who has looked dangerous. He's got the first goal on the board and almost gets it from Medic, who unfortunately just can't find the touch he needs. Camaro is going to not get the power he needs. Medic has space, Steph has space, and they're just continuing the pressure.
Right now, Garlic Knots are kind of falling all over themselves a little bit. We've seen them double commit a lot on these balls. Gotta hope that they'll be able to clean this up a little bit. Medic finally looking for an opportunity, gets his goal. That is a great rolling pass from Rich.
Yeah, light touch from Rich. Medic taps it to the near post, and it wasn't his day before then, but finally Medic gets on the scoreboard, and that has to feel a relief. Garlic Knots, a 2-0 lead again. But again, remember game 1, they had a 2-0 lead. They can't get too comfortable. Almost Steph finding that near post, but just can't make it work.
Rich is going to try to pass this to the middle. Camaro almost makes contact. Silent's going to put a shot on target. Medic does manage to get back. Lee has no boost, going to try to put this on target, but Steph's going to send this way downfield. Booming clear. Now looking for a pass to the middle. Is anybody there? No. Just, oh my goodness. Ignore me. Medic just happens to be there. I believe Rich was trying to get contact with that ball first, but Medic sees it, puts it all the way just underneath the crossbar. That is great. That is great shot from him.
Yeah, Rich was the first option. Faked it out, whether intentional or not. Completely took Silent out of the play, who got bit on that. And then Medic saw the last man wasn't close enough. Almost gets it past Steph here. Camaro does, but unable to do so. Oh, Rich gets a little bit of an argument with the post, and luckily they can't redirect it on frame. Garlic Knots living by the skin of their teeth in defense, and they're just giving them free looks. It's all panic. It's all panic for Garlic Knots. A miss, and then a team miscommunication, and this is not what you want to do.
Yeah, Medic definitely did not want to touch that ball. Had to leave that for a teammate, but panicked a little bit, puts it off the sidewall, just set Lee right up for that. Finally, Chimera will get on the board here after being held scoreless for nearly 4 minutes of Rocket League. But now, they're on the attack. Lee puts a shot on target. Medic is able to save this one cleanly. Runs low on boost, manages to pop it over one, but Silent is already there, and Chimeras are starting to set up their offense now. As Camaro will put the shot towards the sidewall here. Rich is able to clear this. Has a free touch, but only goes as far as Silent, who will put it back into the corner. Medic's going to pass this down to Steph. Steph, a good clear. And now Chimera are having to reset a little bit in their own half.
Camaro clears it long, and that's an awkward touch, but he can't redirect it onto the net. General has a touch. Steph is trying to chase him out for a demo, but luckily Medic clears it. That's a miss. And Silent is there. Look at the triple commit. Garlic Knots, they have to get control of their communication, but it doesn't matter because Steph says, fine, I'll do it myself. and just takes it over and pops it past General Lee. What a shot from Steph there.
Steph just channeling his inner Thanos, like you said. Fine, I'll do it myself. Carries it downfield, flicks it over the last defender, and Camaro was just unable to make contact as Medical put another one on the board. Picks up a hat trick, and this will be the biggest lead we've had in the game so far. I mean, a 4-goal lead. Garlic Knots are on fire.
Yeah, and it's weird because usually when I cast games and I look at the pregame stats, the series never goes the way the stats are. But this series is going exactly how the stats would tell you. Garlic Knots have a super aggressive, really strong offense, but they're struggling on the defensive end. They definitely need to get the communication under control. And Chimera have a strong defense, but when you have this much pressure, any team is going to break against it.
You're absolutely right there. Silence all the way downfield. Gonna pass us to the middle. Lee just has to put it on target. Lee will set it into the net. They'll get at least one more for the road here. That's a great pass from Silent to get it to the middle there.
Yeah, it might be a little too late, but you still want to keep the confidence up. Lee has 7 shots in this game, so it's not like they're not getting shots on. This time, Garlic Knots have just been the more clinical team, and Steph has 5 saves of his own. So yeah, they've stepped up the defense, and they've stepped up off the offense. And if this keeps up, you don't want to let them stay this hot.
No, absolutely not. This has been a great game for Garlic Knots. This is everything that they wanted. They managed to regain some of that lost momentum that they had. And Steph putting on an absolute show. I mean, a cycle, picking up a cycle with 2 goals, 1 assist, 5 saves, and 4 shots. I mean, Steph was working hard in the background, but like you said, there were a lot of miscommunications on the defensive end that did allow Chimera to come back into it a little bit. But then all of a sudden, the offense of Garlic Knots finally started clicking together, and they just took over this game.
Yeah, definitely. Garlic Knots are a scary team when they get going. And I brought up Medic was quiet in the first 2 games. Well, he was certainly not quiet in this game. He got a hat trick, and that will certainly wake up the entire team, not just himself, and hopefully continue to spur them on to make this a really good series. It's a 2-1 lead for Chimera heading into a critical Game 4, because if you go down 3-1, it's really tough to come back from that.
You are absolutely right there. As we see the teams on the field, get your predictions in for game number 4. Garlic Knots are hoping to maintain their lead. Lee puts a shot on target, but it goes off the post. That could have been fantastic for their mental, for the momentum going into this game if they had just gotten that early goal.
Yeah, and that one is just unfortunate. That one's going to be a long clear. Steph's going to have a awkward time with it. Camaro reads the miss and puts it into the net. He knows Steph has a really awkward time with that ball. It's going to be impossible. He has to go get the boost. He has to rush back, and he has to read where it's going to be on the wall while clearing it downfield. So Camaro just says, I'm just going to play it like he's going to miss it, and he does miss it. It's the right call. And Chimera have the lead.
Camaro will take the early lead here. Rich, a great bump in the background. Medic calls his own number here, puts it into the back of the net, and we are tied up already.
Yeah, Camaro, I don't think he knew Rich was there. Rich coming in from behind like a silent killer, taking out the last man. Medic just has to carry that ball and watch it go into the net.
Great stuff already coming out of this game number 4. Camaro is going to put this into the Garlic Knots half. Lee trying to put a shot on target. Silent is there, but Medic is able to get the save. Nobody's going to be able to really get a threatening shot on target here as the ball falls harmlessly and goes right back up to the backboard. Steph, plenty of space, misses the boost, but sends it out to the middle, but Lee is already there. Puts it off the sidewall, looking for a second opportunity. Unable to make full connection. And now this ball gets 50, and it's all the way back into Chimera's half. and Camaro has to rush back.
Yeah, Camaro's going to play it, but Steph was waiting for that touch. He's looking to pass it, but General spawns right there. Uh-oh, though. General has to turn around. Medic almost 50'd it in. Rich doesn't have boost, but he's going to keep it on the ball because he had the momentum. Medic plays it. Medic is trying to back pass it to his team. Rich is there. Medic does back pass it. Rich is clearing it. Camaro might have it. Oh, no, he misflips. But he does luckily land on the ball. A hugely aggressive challenge from Medic. You don't see that much in Amy. Pre-jumping, essentially. Silent plays it. Rich plays it. Everyone's trying to play the ball, and the ball is just going everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
We're a full 2 minutes into this game now. The offense on both sides is kind of stabilized. Camaro trying to get it over to Silent. Silent unable to make contact. Lee's going to put this off the ceiling. Can Camaro reach it in time? He can. It's going to go off the backboard. Lee has to try to get another opportunity, but misses the touch and has to leave it for Silent. Silent maybe looking for a shot opportunity. Unable to make contact with a little bit of a whifty there. Steph puts it in the corner. Takes a shot on target, but Lee is able to get back in time.
Lee almost was able to sneak that past Medic, who had a lot of boost and a lot of space. Medic plays it off the wall. Can he recover himself? He does get his car turned back around, but Steph's going to be on the ball instead. Rich is going to have a shot opportunity, but he's a little too far back and not enough momentum. Camaro, look out! Is he going to go for an air dribble? He can't get it by Medic.
Silent keeps this in the corner. Another pass across to the middle. Medic and I believe it was Steph came together there. Medic able to get a demo on Camaro, picks up the corner, looking for a bump, leaves it low. Rich is unable to make contact, and everybody has to rush back now to try to prevent a counterattack.
Camaro plays it off the sidewall. Look out, Lee is not able to get that corner boost, but he does pop it up high. Medic should have time and space, and he does clear it. But again, that keeps getting to the corner wall. If Camaro's able to make a dangerous pass in field, it could be bad for Garlic Knots. And General just hits the crossbar, which was their best friend, is now turning into their enemy. But look out for the double commits, the triple commits from Garlic Knots. It's been the story of this series, and luckily they're surviving off them somehow.
That's 2 shots off the post. I know they want those back. They had an opportunity to take the lead there late in this game. Medic and Rich both come together here. Medic misses the touch. Rich had to move away from the ball. Somebody just has to call themselves off there, so that way they don't have those double commits ringing out. Medic able to get it downfield. Are they getting another touch? No. He's gonna leave it. Rich is there. It's gonna be a pitch with every single team member on Chimera there. Lee's gonna pop this onto the backboard, looking for a shot. Able to get it by everybody. It's a slow floater, and Chimera will take the late lead.
Yeah, Lee hits it to the back wall. You hit it to the back wall. Usually good things happen. 2 have to dive, and it's an extremely awkward read. Garlic Knots are not able to deal with it. Lee just has to tap it by in the air on frame, and it's a easy goal in the end. Look out for a potential kickoff play, but it's read by Camaro. He can't get it on target. Oh my goodness. It's been a series of unfortunate events, but General Lee is feasting on them.
Lee able to get it by the entire defense, gets it by Medic. Rich misses the touch. Steph is unable to make contact, and Lee will put his team up 2 goals with 26 seconds remaining. It's not impossible, but Garlic Knots have to score quick.
Yeah, oh, nearly off the kickoff. Medic had an opportunity, just couldn't get the shot in the correct direction. Steph is going to play it long. Medic is there, but Steph has space. He doesn't get the mid boost, and that might do it. He doesn't have the resources to go for anything. Medic is going to get a waterfall down. Steph tries to read it. It's a little too late, and this one will hit the ground. Chimera have a 3-1 lead.
That is absolutely huge for Chimera to win this game. They were down for a while, and they got the late lead. Right now, Chimera definitely got to be breathing a sigh, at least some kind of sigh of relief, because if they had lost this game here, that would have completely turn the momentum around. Garlic Knots are starting to do good things once again, but the defense is starting to suffer quite a bit, and it seems like they're panicking a lot more, because I believe at that point, when they were down a goal, they knew what that meant, and if they couldn't get another shot into the back of the net, they were gonna lose this game. And unfortunately, that level of panic allowed for Chimera to take this game number 4.
Yeah, this is a rough one for Garlic Knots. You gotta get the mental back, because now you're staring down the barrel of 3 straight games you have to win in order to stay alive. There is no second chances after this. They are down 3-1, and they just have to figure it out. There is no timeouts, no second chances, and this has to be the turnaround.
As we get the players on, we see, I believe we're a little bit delayed. Somebody's not here at the moment. Rich might have been doing a car change. But we are staring down the barrel right now of Wasteland pitched. So we got some green grass on Wasteland. I do miss the old Wasteland a little bit. Kind of wish that we weren't using the grass variant, but beggars can't be choosers. As we get this game number 5 underway, Chimera looking to finish the series here. Garlic Knots hoping to get at least one more game to maintain at least some semblance at the moment. But with the way Chimera are playing, you have to wonder if Garlic Knots are going to be able to find a way to break through, maintain some mental fortitude, as Rich has actually switched to the Fennec.
Oh, no.
2 players commit. Camaro has an easy touch. Is he going to put it in? No, he missed. It was a wide open net, and Chimera are unable to take advantage of an early mistake.
Well, that right there is why we call amateur the best tier in RSC. You don't see that in other tiers. I mean, we have an awkward mistouch from Medic, and Camaro staring at a literal wide open net, but unfortunately, he just can't get it on frame, unfortunately. Rich and the rest of Garlic Knots, they have to be thanking their lucky stars that this is still 0-0.
I know you say you don't see that in any other tier, but I beg to differ. I've seen that in Vet plenty of times. But we're going to keep this game underway. Rich putting a shot on target. Camaro is already there for the clear. Silent is able to make contact with the ball. Steph is going to cut him off. Tries to pick up the boost. Manages to get the boost, but unable to get the ball. Lee will put a shot on target. Medic and Rich both come together again. Medic gets credited for the save, as Rich will put a shot on target.
But again, it's the double commits that are killing Garlic Knots. Because if that ball somehow spilled out, there is no one who is going to be back to it. They have to figure it out. They have to figure it out quick. That's a really good touch that forces 2 to commit. Steph is going to keep it in and get a little bit of help. Can he put it in your post? No. Medic can't 50 it home. Looks to pass it. And they are surviving by the skin of the teeth right now. Our Chimera. Camaro on Chimera is playing it. Another bump. The physicality is definitely turning up for Garlic Knots. I do like to see that. Unfortunately, it's not quite working out, but they are getting closer.
Double commit from Chimera in the corner there. Lee is able to get a shot towards the net, and Rich gets credited for the save. Steph is going to get bumped here by Camaro, and Medic has to come rushing in, but once again, it just gives the ball away to Chimera. Lee pass to the center. Silent unable to make contact. Camaro rushes in, but is also unable to get it to the net. As finally, I'm not sure why Medic commits here. Rich is able to get it cleared down the field, but I think Steph had full control of that ball, and Medic decides to go for it anyway. Steph cleared downfield, able to get it by 1. It's a 50 into the middle. Is anybody going to get a shot on target? It goes off of Silent, and Medic gets credited for the goal.
Yeah, Medic and Rich. Rich, it gets called off at Silent. It's a strong shot. He just can't get slightly enough power on it. It slightly didn't get enough taken off it, and it goes off the post and in. Unfortunate, but a much-needed goal for Garlic Knots to give them some hope.
Oh, this ball's going to go downfield. Camaro is able to track it down. Medic puts it to the middle. Steph commits on the ball. Rich was also there. Silent is able to get it downfield. Keeps possession of it in the corner. Medic comes rushing in. There's Rich. Over to Steph. Steph's going to put it on target. Garlic Knots will take the 2-0 lead here in game number 5. It looks like they're finally starting to come back into this game, starting to wake up. Their mental fortitude seems to be back in check.
And that's what they really needed. That was a 3-man passing play. Rich had already committed, so he stayed downfield. Medic hits him on the clear for a pass, and the 3rd man was not ready for Rich to be able to quickly turn that past the last defender, and Steph had an easy open net. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a Garlic Knots fan. Steph is really dangerous if he gets control and space on the ball. Camaro gets a demo, though. Here could be a way back in for Chimera is the physicality. But again, a long clear is able to save them. Camaro's going to get an awkward touch. Silently might be awkward. It's up in the air. Medic! Oh my goodness, what a save from Camaro.
Oh, if Medic had been able to get that, that would have been incredible. Rich puts it off the upper right corner, unable to get into the back of the net, and Garlic Knots are surging right now. They're just putting shot after shot on target or even just to the backboard, trying to get Chimera to waste any boost that they have.
And relentless pressure is gonna almost come back to bite them. Steph can't turn that on frame. This one's gonna roll down mid. It comes out awkwardly. Medic to the backboard, which is just getting abused right now by Garlic Knots. Can't find it. Uh-oh, that's an awkward touch. Rich is able to clear it away.
And with time winding down, Garlic Knots' pressure finally outlasts the defense of Chimeras. They will take game number 5 here. We're all of a sudden right back into a series. We are going into game number 6 here. And if the map rotation is correct, I believe we are going to be at Neo Tokyo. I could be wrong. I don't know if we're on RLCS rotation. I need to double check that, but once again, Amy is proving to be just a fantastic final.
Amy always delivers, and it looks to be delivering again. Garlic Knots, who have fought so strongly this season, we're never going to give up that easily. The mental fortitude through all the defensive mistakes, the double commits, they were able to fight back and put some great passing plays together. And Medic, Steph leading the way, Rich, they're all involved, and they're going to need all of them involved if they want to continue it. 3-1 comebacks have happened before, quite a bit in RSC, and they want to be another one in the history books.
Garlic Knots, take a breath, enjoy this last 6 seconds we have before we go into Neo Tokyo, and continue what you have been doing, because obviously what you did in this game worked. You got the win. Now you need one more so we can get to Champions Field. And I want to say it'll be an RSC record at this point if Amy just keeps going into Game 7 finals like this.
Yeah, we might be looking at another Game 7, but Chimera hold all the cards to be able to stop it and end this series right here. If they're able to, Rich is going to pop it up high. Medic is looking for either a bump or a pass. Steph went a little too far. He can't make contact. They have to be careful. Double commit. Camaro is able to get there. Medic has an awkward read, but he's able to calmly control himself and get it to the corner. Again, Medic has been the calming presence, I feel like, in the midfield. Steph plays it long. Rich is going to pop it up. That one, unfortunately, won't roll in front of the net. And Rich Rollin is still keeping this ball in. Medic trying to pass it in. It's all Garlic Knots, but Chimera on the counterattack. They can't get it past Steph.
Ball gonna fall out to Medic. Medic gets demoed by Lee. Rich, a revenge demo on Lee here, now has possession of the ball. Unable to make contact with the corner boost, trying to maintain pressure, but oh, that is an interesting touch. Is it gonna fall right into Steph's hands? If Steph able to make it, no, unable to make contact, and Lee will take possession of the ball.
Watch out! Oh my goodness, almost sneaking in at the near post was a shooter from Garlic Knots, was Rich Roland. Medic is forced wide. Rich is going to be beaten to the ball. Steph, can he get there? Oh, it's just past the post. He didn't have boost, but luckily the ball was just wide. Camaro can't get there, but he'll keep it in anyways. Maybe Silently would have got there. Maybe a little bit of nerves coming in from Chimera now as they have to compose themselves. They're staring down the barrel of a potential Game 7. Medic tries to pre-jump that insanely. In an amateur tier final, that would be one of the all-time great highlights if he was able to somehow hit that. But luckily, this one is still 0-0. This one's going to bounce in almost, and still the pressure coming in.
Garlic Knots are maintaining good offensive pressure right now. They're maintaining relatively good boost control, trying to keep Chimera out of this at the moment. Silent's finally able to get it clear. Puts it off to the side. Could have potentially put that on target, but just could not find the angle. Steph going to be able to clear this. It's off the sidewall. Camaro unable to make the touch. Lee has to commit here. Steph is able to get a touch on the ball to put it into his corner. Medic trying to commit, misses the ball. Rich has to make a touch. Barely manages to get to it as Silently was coming rushing in.
That's an insane touch from Rich. I have no clue how he made contact on that.
Okay,
Here's
pass.
Oh, Steph can't turn it home. His car was a little bit pointed the wrong direction. Couldn't get it back turned around. And it's still 0-0 somehow.
This game is going to go to the absolute wire, it seems like. Are we expecting to see Game 6 OT? Medic able to flick it over one. Steph was there, but unable to get it through the defense. Rich is going to send this into the corner. Looks to pop it up. Manages to get the win, but nobody is there. Gets a demo. Medic unable to make contact as the ball gets sent away. Silent to the sidewall. Medic picks up the boost. Has to touch this ball to keep it away from Silent. Lee is there. Puts it off the corner. Steph is already waiting in net. Able to get the clear. Camaro, quick touch. Passing it to a teammate. Silent gets a 50 there, but unfortunately unable to put it towards the net. This is just good offensive stand from Chimera, but somehow Garlic Knots managed to keep it away.
Medic is going to put a dangerous pass. Look out for Steph. He gets a good 50. Medic is trying to keep it in. Now Rich is going to be next up. He doesn't commit. Steph is going to have a free shot opportunity. He plays it to the backboard. Is going to leave it for Medic, or Rich, sorry. Steph is leaving it. Now Silent on the counterattack. Medic pre-flips. That was dangerous. Steph gets Zemoed. Rich almost gets it past the last man. Oh my goodness, this could go either way.
Steph has to, I want to say at this point, Steph has to be the one to try to put something on target. Oh no, this ball's going to fall into the net. What a 50 from General Lee to put his team on top late.
It's a brutal 50, and General is the one who comes out on top of it, and somehow goes off the sidewall and in for a 1-0 lead. In Game 6, the 1-0 lead they need. That's all they need. Now can they hold on for 40 seconds?
Medic has a touch, unable to put it on target. Rich, low on boost, trying to pass this over to Steph. Steph, trying to get a shot on target, unable to make a clean connection. Lee's going to be able to send this back into the Garlic Knots half, but Medic is already there. Picks up the boost. Unable to make contact with the ball. There's Camaro to the middle, trying to just keep it in the Garlic Knots half. Rich pops the ball up, has to get it over one. Manages to do so, but Silent is already there. Steph trying to keep this team in this at the moment. Puts a shot on target, unable to do anything with it. Here comes the shooting opportunity. Is it going to go in? Rich clutches up and puts it into the net.
Rich has done it before, and extremely ice in the veins. A huge shot to tie the game with 1 second left.
Ladies and gentlemen, once this ball drops, we have Game 6 OT, golden goal opportunity. Can Garlic not stay in it, or will Chimera dash their hopes and finish this series off?
A double commit from Chimera. Rich is going to leave it for Steph, who gets demoed. Medic didn't realize that. Oh no, he gets straight in. Chimera have stolen it. It looked like they were going to win it anyways. Medic takes too much time. Silent says none of that and just wins it for Chimera.
GG's to Chimera. Oh my goodness. What a way to end. That has got to be heartbreaking for Garlic Knots. They had the opportunity. Rich clutched up, put his team in a position to potentially win, and unfortunately, Medic just did not have as much time on the ball as he wanted. Gets dunked, and Chimera are your AMI champions. That it was a fantastic series. We do not see Game 7, but what a fantastic way to end that series.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy series, even if it didn't go all 7 games. Shout out to Garlic Knots. Shout out to Chimera. Incredible series from both teams. I mean, just grit and determination showed from both sides. The 50s did not go Garlic Knots' way in the end, but they have to be proud they were able to almost come back from down 3-1 and not able to bring it to game 7. Chimera, a very impressive showing. General Lee, I think, in particular, was really strong in all of those games, and really the whole team was just showing out tonight.
Absolutely. And don't forget, everybody, to I believe we do a prediction in chat for who you think would be the finals MVP. But Taco, for you, with the way this series went, who is your MVP?
There's a lot of deserving candidates, but I think, as I said, General Lee was consistently really good and really solid for Chimera, and especially in that game 6. He was really solid, got them a goal, and was able to lead Chimera across the finish line.
I would have to agree with you. Now we are doing post game interviews once again. We're going to hand that off to Boa. Boa is going to be our interviewer, so we're gonna let him take over. And I believe, Taco, do you see who we have for the interview? Is it Lee, or is it Silent?
It's Silently.
Okay, so we have Silent for the interview, so we'll go ahead and bring Silent up in here. And Boa, you can go ahead and take it away.
So Silent, how does it feel? I believe, is this your first season in RSC?
Yes, it's my first season in RSC.
So how does it feel coming in first season and just being able to bring home the chip for your franchise?
Honestly, this whole season felt like a movie. Um, I was starting from like figuring things out to just working with my team, and man, it feels super good. Not gonna lie.
If personally though, if you could describe this feeling and this win in one word, what would that word be?
Majestic.
I
Say
love that.
majestic. It's 'cause, with the journey, even with our ups and downs and uncertainties, just strategizing, studying, just I wouldn't trade like any other way how we got here to be here. It's just majestic, really.
And I mean, really close series, Garlic Knots there. Was there anything specific that y'all had to do to just make sure that y'all kept the momentum y'all's way and just mostly kept it from going to game 7?
One thing I learned specifically from the semifinals is that anything can happen in AMI. It's kind of like the thing going around in the tier, but we my objective going into the game was to make sure I didn't get to game 7. Didn't want to swing that way. Knew from like bombers, just going to game 7 is less than ideal. So in order to keep that in our favor, just kept our heads down, just one play at a time, and um, just believe in your team.
Well, Do y'all have any other questions?
I don't believe I have any, but if Taco has something, I'm willing to pass the floor over to him.
I don't have anything either, but just congratulations. Go enjoy the win, and we'll see you back here next season.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Shout out
Congratulations.
to Granddaddy Lee and Camaro. Thank you for my team and my franchise. Just got this chip for y'all. Let's go.
Go enjoy it, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, and with that interview over, we are going to, I believe, take a small break while we get into setting up for the premiere final. So don't forget to stick around. Premiere is Premiere's, you're gonna see the complete opposite end of the spectrum. We very rarely ever see Premiere on stream except during finals, so this will be one to watch.